here. Okay. She is one of Nate and I's absolute best friends. She makes over $100,000 a year in this company. She is incredible leader. She's a woman leader in Primerica, which you guys, I know I'm a woman. I'm not trying to be biased, but women definitely dominate. All right. We've got a lot of new women on our team we're excited about. She's going to share some incredible information with you. So get your notepads out and give it up to the beautiful, the amazing Amy Cracchiolo.
Mel, thank you so much. You guys, first and foremost, it's an honor to be here today. You guys, Nate and Mel and Jerome and Mel asked me, hey, Sarah and I, can you guys come on? I'm like, yes, absolutely. I love Nate and Mel and Jerome and Mel. We've all been friends for a really long time. And Barb, it's so good to see your face. It's so good to recognize some of you. This is why we want cameras on. Most of your leaders aren't great with names, but when I see your face, I'm like, oh, yes. And leaders have their cameras on and they're taking notes, y'all. So if you don't have your camera on, if you're able to, Andrew Clausen, turn that camera on, sir. I want to see your face. You guys, I'm going to share my screen and go through some stuff with you guys. I'm a former interior designer. I went to school for art, got my bachelor's of fine art. I did all the things you're supposed to do as an adult, and it just wasn't it. So freedom is the new flex. I want to talk to you guys about freedom. What is freedom to you? Put it in the chat. Freedom of time, freedom of money. What would freedom be for you guys is what I'm curious. So I can see what freedom means. No boss. Yes, freedom of time and money, freedom of time and money, no boss. You guys, how many of you have worked your butts off? You guys, I'm not bashing jobs, but just bear with me for a second. I forgot this slide was here. You either go after the life that you want or you keep settling for the life that you have. The choice is yours. So something so powerful about life is that we have a choice. We have a choice to be on camera. We have a choice not to be on camera. We have a choice to turn our cameras on. We have a choice not to. We have a choice to take notes. We have a choice not to take notes. And I was tired of settling. You guys, all my life, I grew up very blue collar. My dad was a factory worker. I made $50,000 a year as an interior designer, working 50 hours a week. Not fun, stressed out. And I remember being super stressed. And it's not a booming economy when real wages are lower than in 1970. Nearly 80% live paycheck to paycheck. That was me prior to Primerica. 62% of jobs cannot support middle class life. You need two parents working. And then what happens to your family life? We all know how that goes. 140 million Americans either are poor or low income. Half or of older Americans have no retirement. Because that was me. I was 38, no 401k, no retirement, no life insurance, $80,000 of student loan debt, and miserable at my day job. So I met this guy, Steve, right here. He was on John Cooper's team. He was my installation manager, and I was literally crying at work. How many of you are overworked and underpaid? Or, hey, you're doing a great job, but can you work more? Yes, Mel Cooper, I see you, girl. Overworked and underpaid as an office manager. Yes, ma'am. Or, hey, Barb, you do such a great job, but can you do more? Hey, Leah, good job. Can you, and I think we all do this as like pride. Like I'm prideful of my job. Yes, I'll do more. Oh my God, the boss is recognizing me to do more. But do we get more time off that's paid? No. Do we get a bonus check at the end? Nope. And Michael, I got tired of living that way and I was so upset. I was promised a raise that I didn't get. I qualified all the requirements. Long story short, this guy here, my installation manager, who is still one of my really good friends, took me to meet this guy over here. Some of you guys know John Cooper right here. He said, hey, I want to introduce you to a guy. I think you'd be really good. I go, really good at what? He goes, financial services. I was like, oh no, not me. I'm an art brain. I don't know financial services. I have a car that's like it's a beater. Like, no, I'm in debt. I don't like, no, not me. So he gave me the number, Leah, to this place. And I'm like, am I at the right place? I called, see him like, it says Jake's Automotive. What is this? And he's like, yeah, go around the back. And you guys, you enter through the back alley here. Go up through the back. There's no one greeting you, Barb. You walk in, you're like, am I even, what kind of back alley weird crap is this? Where am I going? And then I meet the most enthusiastic man ever, John Cooper, who I'm like, Mike, I'm like, what is this guy on? He's so hyper. He changed my life. Had I said no, I don't want to go through that back door. No, I don't want to go to Jake's Automotive. No, I wouldn't have what I have and where I'm at. You guys, when I came to Primerica, if this is your first meeting, Or if you've been here for a while, you guys, think about these things. If you do what's easy and your life will be hard, do what's hard and your life will become easy. Are you guys sick and tired of being sick and tired? You guys, even as a VP, Barb, sometimes I get sick of myself because I need to go to the next level. So for some of the veterans here, I want you to really dig deep and think about things. I was scared. I was 38 years old. I knew nothing about life insurance or investments or money. I was the heaviest I'd ever been. So I was very insecure. I had a lot of self-doubt and I was really uncomfortable. But I knew I had to make a change. So I just kept moving forward. John Cooper, you guys, your leaders, Mel just did it. Hey, the next big event is in October. John Cooper said our next big event in 2015 is, he's like, we're going to go to the Dome. We're going to do this big thing in Atlanta. It is our convention. And I did not want to go. Oh, heck no. How many of you came to a big event when you didn't want to come to a big event? I'm an introvert, believe it or not. I don't like large crowds. I get nervous. I see you, Nate. Like, I was like, no. And they had a competition for floor seating. Leah, John's like, do X, Y, and Z. I was like, okay. I just was so coachable. Okay. And then I won floor seating. Sarah, I couldn't not show up after I won. So I was like, okay, let me go do. I had no idea by myself, scared to death, Barb, as an adult, scared to death. And I came to Primerica, you guys, just to make 500 extra bucks. If I can just make 500 extra dollars, I'll pay off my student loans. Life will get a little easier. Okay, I'll learn something about money and finance. I had zero vision for what my life would be. And then I go to the convention. Michael, I walked in and there is this sea of people. And Leah, I go, John, what is that? He goes, what? It was this big white group. I think it was Chris Koob's section, or it's the Maniacs, Nate. I'm not sure which one it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want that. At that moment, a dream was placed in my heart because I got a vision for what I wanted that I didn't even know that I wanted. What did I want? I wanted to have a large team. I wanted to build something that no one could take away from me. I was so sick of someone having their thumb on me. Oh, if you work more, you'll get this. Oh, I'll buy you lunch, right? But I'm still struggling paycheck to paycheck. I was still miserable, you guys. For me, freedom is joy. Freedom is money because money buys, you can have choices in life, right? I got such a vision. Some of you guys can see it behind me. There's a jersey behind me I'm very proud of, and I'll talk to you guys about that. Is sometimes it comes down to one decision that can change everything forever. And that one decision might be, hey, I'm going to be coachable for 6 months. Hey, coach, I'm going to go all in just for a little bit. Hey, Karen, we're going to go one more time, girl. Let's go in, Jeff Miller, one more time. Let's give it everything we got. There's about 7 months left of the year. What happens if we just go all in one more time, you guys? All in, no distractions, nothing else. Find your heart posture and go, let's just go do this thing because my vision grows. Every time I go to a big event, my vision grows. What do we do here, you guys? Yes, we do life insurance and we do investments. I have Leslie on tonight and Kayla's on, two of my girls who I love dearly. We're in the people business. We're in the business of celebrating others. Why do you want to be a field trainer? Why would you want to be a regional vice president? I get choked up when I look at this, you guys, is because you get to pour into other people. You get to watch other people win. You get to watch other people succeed because you are a servant leader. Look what comes from servant leadership and to keep recruiting. I know recruiting sounds weird sometimes when you're first here, like what recruiting? I don't want to recruit. You're holding someone's blessing back by not recruiting. It's very selfish to not offer this opportunity to someone else. Look at all these faces. Donnie over here, he's in the Air Force. Him and his wife are both fully licensed. Ironically, I have the most investment license in John Cooper's hierarchy on my team. If you guys know why that's ironic, some of you know, Jeff, but my agents get fully licensed, Kim, because it's important. I feed my team investments. Look at all of these people. We do the full job on all these faces. So if you're like, what kind of weird crap did I just get into? You got in the people business about people who care about people. Primerica agents were built different. We want to help other people win. Why am I here with Nate and Mel? Had it not been for Nate and Mel, I wouldn't be here. John Cooper is very type A, and I'm a little bit of A and B. And so Nate filled that gap for me. Had it not been for Nate Braley, I don't think I would still be here. And my relationship with my Primerica friends is what really solidified everything. And you build those friendships by coming to big events, you guys. You have got to get here in person in October. Be coachable. I was coachable to Coop, Gretchen, when I did not want to go to the big event in Georgia. I did it big, y'all. I didn't come to a small event. I just went all in. I was like, okay, look at all these faces, though. And I also got a vision for that ding jersey. That dang jersey, man, that meant everything for me. There wasn't a person in our office that had one framed. And Kim, if you remember, it was very male dominated when I joined. It was 11 years ago. And I was like, holy crap, Coop, how do I get one of those? Barb, I'm a little competitive. I'm quiet but competitive. I'm like, I'm going to go get a framed jersey. I'm going to show all those boys. I'm going to run circles around all those boys and get my jersey. I got presented that big, can I say big ass jersey on stage in the Bahamas in front of everybody. My vision was birthed, Michael, for to be a regional vice president. If I had missed the convention, I wouldn't have saw the jersey I got in Bahamas. If I missed the convention, I wouldn't have had the vision for what I wanted to build here and lit that fire in my heart because I was not a big recruiter in the beginning, you guys. Sarah Fallett, $200,000 earner. She's been with me for 7 years, you guys. I met Sarah at 25. She's my very first regional vice president. 7 years later, Barb, this young lady's making $200,000. If I didn't have a vision, Sarah and her team wouldn't be here. The girls that you heard from in the beginning wouldn't be here. You have to understand how this works. I'm like the grandma, and they're like, it trickles in there. We have to reignite our vision for what we want in our future, you guys. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick and tired of being where I'm currently at. So I've got to make some changes in business with you guys. What did Primerica do for me that my day job didn't do? I have three beautiful nieces and a nephew. I was financially strapped before. I make about 120 to 130 a year typically, you guys. I'm not married. I don't have kids. So in August, we have a day of yes. I take the girls. We do whatever the heck they want within reason. We eat whatever we want. We go shopping. They get their school clothes. They get whatever fancy shoes, the OnClouds, the Lulus, the whatever they want. I spend roughly, I'll tell you guys, I spend about $1,000 on each girl. There's three girls. We do whatever we want. I could not do that before. My nephew is passed out here, y'all. He wanted this lobster broil. I didn't even look at the menu. I said, yeah, get whatever you want, kid. And our lunch was like $300. I was like, dang, he ate good. Yes, Sarah, he passed out in the car. It's about the memories. It's not about the money. The money helps me make the memories to do the things that we want to do. So when the kids say, Auntie, can we do something? I say, yeah. I bring my laptop to the kids' birthday parties, Barb. Sometimes I'm upstairs running appointments for my niece's bedroom while the family's downstairs. So when we say pay the price and expect to win, the price is working when sometimes we don't really want to work, but I know that's what provides the future, right? Senior Saturdays. My parents are in their 70s. Every Saturday, it's called Senior Saturday. I do whatever my mom and dad want to do. I cook them dinner. I take them for pedicures. We do, you guys, when you work a 9 to 5, you don't have a ton of extra time to do these things or the energy, right? Saturday is usually recovery day, Michael, right? You work 9 to 5, you go, you do your errands on Saturday, maybe Sunday's your rest day. People go, you see your mom every Saturday? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I never want there to be a time that goes, I wish I would have spent more time with my family. I paid a price in the beginning and I still do, not a bad one. It's just working and being consistent on the days that you don't want to. There's going to be a time, I always say, not if, when. In August of 2023, my mom had a heart attack and a stroke, lovely, within 1 week. I was at that hospital, Michael, from 8 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, every single day that she was in the hospital. My laptop, it was August, was with me. I did not miss a beat in business. And my mom, she's like, yeah, do what you got to do. Like, she didn't care. But my brother and sister-in-law would text me, Nate. They were like, are you with mom? Are you with mom? Yeah, I'm with mom. Because they couldn't be there and they wanted to. So what if something happens to someone in your family? Can you call off work for a week and go be with your family members and not lose pay or not lose anything? I don't think so, you guys. That's not how life works. You guys, some of you guys don't know this little trigger warning as I wrap up is in January of 2024, I got the wonderful diagnosis of breast cancer. I had a double mastectomy, a full hysterectomy. It was not fun. And you can see a lot of my recovery here, you guys. A lot of the girls in my group were losing their jobs. People say, you look great. You're doing well. Yes, because I can relax. I didn't work for 2 months. I didn't make less. This might not be impressive to some of you guys. The first month I didn't work, I made $4,000. Why? Overrides. My team was working. They were working because they respect all the time I've put in with them, right? Once again, God forbid you got diagnosed with something, would you sustain financially, emotionally, or mentally because of the demand of a 9 to 5? Because we have to understand what we have our hands on here. And my team rallied. Sarah was awesome. She rallied. She did everything. Her and the team, they pushed so hard so that I could rest. Because that's a big deal. When we say freedom is the new flex, this is what I mean. Freedom is the new flex, you guys. I did not miss a meeting, you guys. I was on every Zoom meeting. When I say meeting, not running appointments, but when we had trainings, I was on, Michael, because I could be on from my bedroom with my camera on. I wasn't looking pretty, but no one cared, right? It's all about choices, you guys. Every single one of you, I'm proud of every single one of you that are on tonight. You guys all made a choice to show up on a Friday Night Live with some new leaders coming into the mix a little bit, you guys. It's a choice. The next 6 months of your life. Yes, that was my time. The next 6 months are a choice, you guys. You can choose not to show up, or you can choose to go all in and get rid of distractions. Why? I'll tell you why. Generational curse breaker, a person committed to building a legacy by breaking and destroying any and all generational curses that has controlled them. You are playing for the last name on your jersey. You guys, I hope this helps someone tonight. I'm excited to be here, and I get the honor of representing the next speaker. You guys, my very first regional vice president. Let me tell you about a little bit about Sarah Fallett. Not only is she high energy, not only is she very analytical, she's my first analytical, she had to deal with me, is you guys, she's loyal, she's faithful, and she was the most coachable. When I said, Sarah, jump, she said, ma'am, how high? When I said, Sarah, you've got to do this over. Okay. You guys, and look at her track record of success. She's got a very healthy business of recruiting, life insurance, and investments. 7 years to 200,000. And this, she's not stopping there. She's going to hit 300 by the end of the year. Sarah, I couldn't be more proud of you. I love you, girl. Take it away.
Oh man, okay, I'm not trying to cry right now. Thanks, Amy. What's up, you guys? Happy Friday night. I want to say it is such an honor to get to be with you guys on a Friday Night Live. I remember growing up in the business and the relationships with Jerome and Melody Cooper and Amy and well, obviously she's my upline, but like Nate and Mel Braley. I gotta tell you, there were moments in this business where I didn't think I would make it, and without each of those people, I don't think I'd be here today. So thank you. It's an honor to be here. So the topic that I want to talk about tonight is actually the top 5 reasons why I've chosen to plant my flag here. So let me do presenter view. Gotta get this good because I have my speaker notes over here. Okay, let me move this over a little bit. Okay, are you guys able to see my screen okay? Okay, cool. So planting your flag means that no matter what season that you are in, that you are making a decision that you are not moving. Each of one of you is not here casually. You are not testing the waters emotionally every month. You decided that this is where you're going to build. Now, guys, there's so many opportunities in this world, but for me personally, there are 5 reasons why I chose to plant my flag in Primerica and why I will continue to choose to plant my flag here over and over again. And it's not because it's always been easy. It hasn't been, but not because every season has been perfect either, but it's because I believe wholeheartedly that this vehicle will change lives. It's changed my life. So the very first reason is number one is the vision is bigger than me. And the vision is bigger than you. Guys, before this, most people are taught, how to survive paycheck to paycheck, where you have to work every single weekend. You hope retirement works out and you just hope that you're just getting by, that you'll make it. But here, when I came to the Primerica world, I was exposed to so much more. I was exposed to leadership, to ownership, to freedom, to impact, and to legacy. And I thought that at my job, that's what I thought what I was building. I was told you get a good job, you go to school, you get your master's, and you get a high-paying job, and boom, you did it, and you made it. And then I realized I was I was trapped. I was in a golden handcuffs. No matter how much higher that I moved up in corporate, I was still chained to work for somebody else. It wasn't more freedom, it was less freedom. Maybe a little bit more money, but that's not what I thought would happen at the top. I thought I'd be able to have more freedom and flexibility, and that just wasn't the case. Now, this business, it stretched my thinking. Now I dream about becoming a $1 million earner. Like the year, like it still blows my mind crossing that milestone last month. I'm like, wait, what's happening? Like, I don't think I've ever would have been able to make that at my job. And Primerica opened your mind that you can make literally as much money as you want. And I was only I was capped at making six figures, thinking that was the most you can make. And then you come here and it's like the lid's off the cap. I think that makes sense. You guys know what I mean. Okay, now I dream about building multiple regional vice presidents, having so many brokers who are running their own agencies and changing lives, both with the opportunity, both with financial plans. Now I dream about helping thousands of families, creating freedom for my family, but most importantly, serving God through business. Now, here in this business, you guys, you just need belief, consistency, and a willingness to grow. And you got to allow yourself to dream again. And the beautiful thing about this company is you don't need the perfect background to win here. Now, the second reason, personal growth here is unmatched. Okay, this business will expose your fears, your insecurities, your excuses, your ego, your inconsistency, your people pleasing, your emotional instability. And I had to learn confidence. I had to learn leadership. I had to learn communication. I had to learn emotional discipline. I had to learn consistency. I learned that when I came to Primerica, that was a huge weakness of mine because I would go all in. I'm an all or nothing type girl. And then I would, crush the next goal and then I would just coast. And I thought, this isn't really healthy to do. I had to learn how to be consistent. And probably the most important thing that I'm so blessed that I'm now able to learn is belief. You have to believe in yourself. Because if you stay here long enough and you refuse to quit, this environment will transform you. And this business has literally forced me to be a different person. And I'm so blessed for that because you have to lead yourself first here. I used to let the leaderboards, opinions, recognition, and other people supporting or not supporting me, that used to determine everything. And I had to stop needing external validation to feel worthy. Man, was I really attached to that. That if I wasn't winning or I wasn't winning a trip or if my mom and dad didn't support me or my friends, man, things shook me. But what I realized that I was actually being sanctified in the process. I was learning that I had to let go of all of these external needs for validation because no one's going to follow me if I'm like a wave. I need to be so rooted in my vision here. I need to be so rooted in my confidence and where I was going that people would come from miles to watch me burn. Now, this business that will make you stronger mentally, emotionally, I would say physically too. I feel like I'm the healthiest I've been since I started the business. It'll make you more professional. And I genuinely don't believe I would be the same person that I am today if it wasn't for this business. Now, number three, you guys, we get to truly help families because what we do here matters. We're not just selling hype. We're not just selling things people don't need. Okay. We help families protect their income, their future, their retirement, their kids, their legacy. We sit at kitchen tables. I mean, I miss going in person and doing appointments. Now we're getting back into that. We get to sit across families on Zoom and we get to help people who genuinely need some help. You guys, no one's just going to be raising their hand saying, I need help financially. That's not how the world works. Okay. This is a keeping up with the Joneses society where everyone's secretly struggling and no one's really talking about that. So if we know that, we know that there's a job out there. And sometimes we don't even realize the impact that we're making. Because a policy, it might look like paperwork to us sometimes, but to a family, it can mean dignity, peace, protection, instability during a tragedy. Now that matters to me, especially as a Christian. I believe that stewardship matters, and I believe serving people matters. In this business, we are truly serving others. And I believe that you get to build a business that makes a lasting impact. Now, number four, I am not going to cry with this, okay? But this environment and culture it changed my life. Every environment is everything, and you become who you spend your time around. Now, this environment, it taught me to think bigger, to dream bigger, to move with purpose, to become disciplined, to stop settling. I met people here who challenged me to rise higher, and I'm so thankful for Amy, you guys, because let me tell you what, she's poured into me year after year. I had a beginning of my business, I was building this with my ex at the time, and the amount of calls that she would take just to help me with coaching and mindset, and even the time that Nate and Mel got to spend with us on the side, helping to coach partnership. And I take those words of wisdom that they shared, and I'm able to now share them to my team for that. What a blessing, man. What a blessing. Now, this business will give you mentors, it'll give you friendships and leadership and community. And I mean, here's just, some examples of this. And that's why culture, guys, it matters. Because when you're in a culture of growth, you can't happen but to grow. Okay. Now, that's why I love when we get together for trainings, when we do recognition, when we do accountability, leadership development, because it allows you to grow and you're going to be stretched into the leader that you're called to be. Because people will grow in the right environment. A shark cannot grow in a fish tank. A shark will grow in an ocean. And I always say that success is a language. So when you're around winners long enough, eventually your thinking will change. And one thing that I really took, note from Nate and Mel is they have an attitude of gratitude at all times. And I noticed that it's the way their language is. And guess what? When you have an attitude of gratitude, blessings are going to keep coming because you're grateful for where you have. So, Nate and Mom, I'm so grateful for that because that is huge. You stop talking like a victim. No one wants to have a victim mindset. Oh, woe's me, woe's this, I can't change this. No, you're in control of your life. Because if you give ownership over to your emotions, guess what's also happening? Your emotions will dictate your future. And your emotions are liars, okay? You got to stop moving here emotionally. You got to start becoming intentional. And I'm incredibly grateful for the culture that we're building together here because no one's perfect here, but we're imperfect people growing together. Now, number 5, I believe the promised land exists here. Now, I've seen ordinary people create extraordinary lives. I've seen families change. I've seen debt being eliminated, people leave jobs they hated. Um, and probably one of the greatest stories I've seen is actually within our girl Jen. You got to hear her this I almost said this morning. This evening, you got to hear this evening. She was talking about how she's literally been the happiest since this business. And when I brought her into the business about a year ago, it's amazing to see just her happiness and her visions and she's dreaming again. And just to know that you are literally helping people to change who they are in this business. Like, what? Thank you, Primerica. Thank you. And you get to see other people win here. Now, with that being said, not only do you see other people win, but through this business, I've personally experienced, I've traveled as much as I want now. There's freedom here, there's growth, there's confidence, and you're able to bless your family. And I love this slide so much. Okay. Because this business allowed me to start dreaming. Guys, initially the people around you, the closest people, sometimes they might not fully believe in the vision that you have. And that's okay. That's okay. Now, I was able to take my dad on a Primerica trip. This was a couple years ago now. We went to the Broadmoor in Colorado, and me and my dad, we've never traveled alone together. And at first, he was all like this, like nervous Nelly, and because he works at Ford and he's used to working in like the factory setting. He's an electrician. So I couldn't wait to take him into our culture and for him to like be around just positive, good people. And let me tell you, Primerica caught him. Because by the end of the trip, look at him. He's repping that Primerica hoodie. He's eating his cheesecake. He was so inspired by Primerica that he told my mom as soon as he got home, Beth, you need to quit your job. You need to start working for Sarah. And the first question was, Sarah, can you afford me? I'm like, I think so, Mom. I think I can afford you. So, guys, thankful for this business. I was able to retire my mom, and now she's living her dream life as a Nina. But not only that, my mom, we get to travel together. I don't think I've ever traveled as much with my mom as I've had in these last couple of years. She comes on every Primerica trip with me. I've actually taken her to Mexico last year because of Primerica. I said, Mom, me and you, we're getting away from here. And literally about 2 weeks ago, I took my youngest sister to Mexico too, because that's on my bucket list this year. I'm doing a one-to-one trip with everyone in the family, wherever you want, all inclusive, fully paid for by the business. And just to see her be so relaxed, she's a single mom of 3, just get to live her dream life and just relaxing. Oh man, it's because of this business. And just seeing them even post on social media, living a life of my dreams. And I'm like, that's Primerica. That's Primerica. But guys, every promised land, it requires a wilderness season first. There's going to be seasons where your growth will feel slow, where maybe you might doubt yourself, where you're going to have people quit on you. That's okay. People quit on themselves daily. You just got to make sure you don't quit on you. There's going to be times where you're going to feel that you're being stretched. And there might be times where you might want that breakthrough faster. But let me tell you what, you have to stay planted. Because at some point you have to decide, this is home, this is where I'm building, this is where I'm going. Because people who constantly uproot themselves, they never grow roots deep enough to build something meaningful. Now, to summarize this, you guys, my top 5 reasons. 1, the vision's bigger than me. That your personal growth is unmatched. We truly help families. The environment changes lives. And I believe freedom and legacy are possible here. Now, I want to leave you with this. Don't allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions about your future. You got to stay planted long enough to become who God called you to be because your future family, your future organization, your future freedom, and your future legacy is on the other side of the season that you're currently trying to survive with.